Hello and welcome back to our Let's Play series where we're doing a beginner achievement run here in Oxygen Not Included. I think we're going to start this episode by just kind of catching up to where we were from the last episode. And in the last episode, we got our hatch ranches upgraded here and they have the sweepers in them, and we have our evolution chamber up here. We also have our long-term incubator, and we've started our storage system here, our feed system rather, for our farms. Now we're gonna convert this one right here into a smooth hatch farm so we can get our down the hatch achievement. We're doing that by feeding these guys up here at the top. We're feeding them copper. That's gonna increase their chance to lay a smooth hatchling egg. It's already starting to go up, so that's gonna be awesome. In the process of kind of moving all this stuff around, we did kind of reduce the population accidentally of our farms, but that's okay. We have plenty of barbecue going here. As you can see, we've got more barbecue than we can eat right now. So it looks like some of this will probably end up going bad, but that's okay. It is a little wasteful, but it is what it is. And we have our spawn built down here. Now, one thing that I didn't go over with you guys was the ventilation overlay. So this is how I laid this out. This is going to be where the hydrogen is captured. Once this starts running and equalizes, it's going to pump hydrogen into here. I know this may be a little bit difficult to see, but it's going to pump through here and it's going to prioritize these generators right here that are going to keep this spawn self-powered. And then after that, it will bypass this once it's full, and it'll hit this bridge, which will bridge it back over and send it into this room where we're going to have some more hydrogen generators to burn the excess. And the reason why we're putting those over here is for two reasons. Number one, I want to keep all of our heat producing things in this area. I'm not sure if I want to do a dirty block or if I want to do maybe like a sauna. I'm not sure. Kind of figure that out as we go. And another other reason is because we're going to build our power spine up this side of the asteroid and feed our base, and we'll have our transformers kind of feeding our lines off of this as we continue to progress. I think this is probably about the size of our colony right here, where you can see the insulated tiles. Kind of getting off topic here. Let's go back here to our ventilation overlay. But anyway, so as you can see here, we have our two oxygen lines coming off because we have two electrolyzers, and they will each produce 888 grams per second maximum of oxygen. So that means we'll have about 1700 grams, which is too much for one pipe. Each gas pump can pump 500. So two of them will pump the maximum that one pipe can carry, which is 1000. So anyway, long story short, we have two pipes here, and both of them I put into here with radiated pipes. One will feed each side of our base, and this one will feed our exosuits for our little block here, our sauna or dirty block or whatever we want to end up doing that. And then I just put a couple of vents around the base, and we can kind of expand this later on as we go. So yeah, that's where we are. And oh yeah, we also came in here and we started working on cleaning this out. That's how we got the gold amalgam for all of our stuff in here, because of course you want those things made out of gold amalgam because it increases the overheat temperature of all these items. So all these things are made of gold amalgam. I think we have this relatively under control. There's a little bit in our base, but I'm not too worried about it. Over here on our colony summary tab, we can take a look at our carnivore, and we are at about 156,000. We're still on track for that, but we're going to keep a close eye on this. Looks like we're getting close here. We got a little over 100, well, about 140,000 to go, and then we'll be able to go grab our Reeswarts, and we're still a ways off from this. So that's going to be a while. We've only have 18,000 of 240,000, so that's going to be a little bit. And as far as our research goes, pretty much did what I talked about in the last video. Everything is researched up to this point, so we're kind of waiting. Oh, except for that. We can grab that while we're here. We're waiting to get our material study terminal down so we can go ahead and start getting into this next tier. Hey, there we go. We have some pip eggs, so I think we'll go ahead and grab those. So once these pip eggs hatch, as you can see here, we laid out some seeds for them earlier, and this is going to be our nature preserve. Once these pips hatch, they're going to plant some of these seeds. Hopefully they'll plant all 4. Then we'll have them start going through here just to get a little extra morale. It's not absolutely necessary, but we're going to do it. Oof, been another 3 cycles already, huh? We're just cruising along, huh? We're getting really close to this, so we're going to be able to fire up our material study terminal before cycle 100. So we'll be able to start, well, we're going to need to put our farm plots here, and then we'll be able to grab our Drecos. So before cycle 100, we're going to go ahead and finish this Dreco Ranch, and then we'll also get this up and running. But we're going to want to start the spawn so we have some additional power. We'll start working on this, the power spine we're going to put over here. pretty much finished building the Draco ranch that sits on top of our hatch ranch stack here. What I have here are 2 rooms. This is going to be our Draco farm. This is 96 tiles, so it will support 8 Dracos. There'll be 8 regular Dracos. I'm going to put a little bit of water on top of here so the Dracos will stay in this area. These tiles right here are going to be turned into farm tiles once we get our locavore achievement. As you know, with the locavore, we can't plant any crops, so we can't do this until we get our locavore, which we are getting pretty close. And the reason why we need an Atmo suit here is because this is going to be filled with hydrogen. This down here is going to be our starvation / incubation room for our Dracos. Initially, we'll be incubating our regular Draco eggs here, but as the Dracos up here in this ranch start eating the mealwood, it'll increase their chance to lay a glossy Draco egg. And the glossy Draco egg will start incubating those down here, and then we'll have a bunch of glossy Dracos, which will yield us plastic when we shear them here on this shearing station. Now, in order for them to continue to produce in this room, we're going to want to fill this whole area with hydrogen, hence the reason why I put this liquid lock here. And we're going to use this pump here to vacuum out this room. And this right here is going to be an input for hydrogen. As you can see, I've teed that off of the spawn down here. So it's going to be one of the first things that we use the hydrogen for, the extra hydrogen for, that is. And we have a lot of shipping stuff going on here. This one right here will collect the eggs, any Draco eggs that we have that are laid in this farm area right here. We have 2 auto sweepers to cover the full area here where the Dracos will be restricted to. This will load the eggs, and the eggs will be sent over here and dropped in this room. This sweeper will make sure that this incubator stays loaded, and then once they hatch and our rancher comes in here and shears them, it'll pick it up and we'll load it into this. This is a little messy, but I'll explain this here quickly. All that material will come into here. It'll bridge over our feed line, which runs across here. It'll come up here and it'll connect with this one. I added this one because what this does is once an egg drops here and it evolves, the meat will be swept into this loader, and that will send it to our kitchen. And I already kind of explained how this works. But this one, however, will be picking up the coal and anything else that's dropped in these ranches, because these sweepers will pick up anything that you want them to pick up in this ranch, specifically the coal and the eggs, and all that stuff will come through here and be dropped into the evolution chamber. However, we don't want the coal in our evolution chamber. We're going to want that somewhere else. It will be loaded into here and combined with this rail. Now we also have another one up here. And this one will collect anything that's sheared. It'll also collect the phosphate or anything else that we have up in here. And all this stuff is going to get funneled to our storage area. Now, just a quick aside here, what I plan on doing is getting rid of the skill scrubber, bringing this wall over to here, and then adding a couple of more loaders over here along with a sweeper. And what that'll allow us to do is to take certain items out of the storage area and ship them all over our base. So that's how that's set up. You also notice we modified the feed line here to kind of accommodate some of these other bridges. It comes to here, it goes underneath here, it bridges over here, and then it drops down here. Now it was here, but in order to get this line to fit in, I had to move it over a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our receptacles here, and that will allow this sweeper to load our igneous rock from here into this loader right here, which will feed each of our ranches. So there you go. That's the quick explanation of that. Oh yeah, and I also went ahead and made a room over here for our water purification. So we're getting really close to being full, so we're gonna have to finish this pretty soon in order to not have our bathroom system backing up, because right now we're getting pretty close to being full. I also moved some batteries down here because I'm trying to get rid of this stuff here. This rock crusher is gonna end up down in here. I also built an exosuit forge and a crafting station here, so we can start crafting those things, the exosuits and possibly some of the oxygen masks. I'm not sure if we're gonna need that, but I just kind of built that right beside it. And we may want to remove these as well. We've gotten rid of most of our incubators here because our smooth hatch farm is almost full. We have 6 critters, so we actually can probably get rid of 1 more of these, and then we can just put that egg over here into our evolution chamber. Alright guys, so I messed up pretty big here. So I really shouldn't have deleted those incubators so quickly because we don't have enough eggs to sustain our dupes, and I ran out of barbecue pretty quick. I don't know what I was thinking, but we're going to be able to fix this. So this just gives us an opportunity to do a couple of things. First, it gives us an opportunity to try a different design that I've kind of been wanting to do for the incubator array, and that is to build it with buffer and filter gates. To do that, what we'll do is we'll set up our incubators like normal. However, we will put a timer sensor on the first one set to 76 seconds, and we'll see why here in a second. But we'll set the timer to 76 seconds activation and 600 seconds off. Then what we'll do is we will build a filter gate here, and we'll set that to 75. Now, the reason why we're setting this to 75 and the timer to 76 is because if we set the timer to 75 and the filter to 75, I've actually noticed that sometimes it won't activate because it's exactly the same time. So we'll just let the timer go for 1 second longer. And now that we have this filter gate set up and it's set to turn green once it's received a green signal for 75 seconds, we'll build this buffer gate below it. And this buffer gate will activate as soon as it receives that green signal from the filter gate, and it will stay green for 76 seconds as well, just like the timer. And then that will activate the next incubator as well as be an input to the next filter gate, which will turn green, activating the next one after 75 seconds, and so on and so forth all the way down the line. And the beauty of this is that it greatly simplifies our setup. However, it does come at the cost of a bit more refined metal, but we don't have to fiddle with all these timer sensors. We set the first one and we go. However, there is one caveat I'd like to go ahead and note here during this setup, is that when you initially set it up, before you start the system, I would recommend that you have all of your gates set correctly. Otherwise, it'll do some weird stuff and it may take another cycle for it to kind of figure itself out. I learned that the hard way, but you don't have to just set it up all at once. But if you can't build all your incubators at once, I would recommend that you build all the buffer gates and set them up, as well as the initial timer sensor, to the incubators that you have built before you start the timer. So as you can tell, we have quite a bit of barbecue to go, and the numbers really aren't in our favor. It looks like we're just gonna barely make it. We have about 140,000 calories to go, and we have 11 dupes currently. I'd rather be safe than sorry here in this situation. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up with a creative solution here. This is something that I've always wanted to try and I haven't really tried yet. I'm really excited about it actually. We're gonna find a duplicate that has binge eating, which I did. Devin here is a binge eater, and we are gonna do our best to stress him out so he will binge eat barbecue. What I've done here is I've built a little chamber here over in the slime biome. We are gonna put him in here. We're gonna put him in a suit, and we're gonna let him run out of oxygen in the suit, so he has to gasp. We're gonna let him soil himself in the suit. We skill scrubbed him before we sent him over here, and then we put him into things that he does not like. So his morale requirement is way higher than what he has. Doing this should stress him out to the point where he should binge eat about every 3 days. So we're gonna use that to our advantage. So we're just gonna lock him away over here. We're gonna put him between these two doors. We're only gonna allow him to the barbecue once he's reached 100% stress. That way a good meal won't increase the time it takes for him to reach 100% stress. Sorry, Devin, but you're gonna be our guinea pig, and the colony's depending on you. Go, Devin, go! Eat that barbecue, buddy! Yeah, boy. We're all depending on you, Devin. Don't let us down. Poor Devin. I feel so bad, but it's so entertaining. Oh, this is so much fun. So it looks like it's still gonna be close, but we'll see. We still have Devin over here. He's locked up. This is all over the place. I didn't even set up a kill chamber, but we're gonna get through this. We're gonna manually kill all these hatches and just cook them up the best we can. I even had to kill one of our farms of stone hatches just so we could continue eating barbecue, because we had a little bit of a gap between the time the eggs started hatching regularly, and we just barely made it. We made it the day of, just a couple of hours before the end of the day. But hey, better late than never, and we got it. So yeah, all right, that, and we also have our locavore. Now that we don't have to be babysitting our hatch ranches and our barbecue, as well as poor Devin, we're gonna let him out here. Thank you, Devin, for your contribution. We can go ahead and set up some planter boxes here while we wait on the eggs to kind of stock back up in our evolution chamber so we can have regular barbecue for our duplicates. We're also working on down the hatch here. As you can see, I've started filling up the ranch again. We had to kill some of them as well to keep up with the barbecue barbecue demand, but we're filling that back up. Hopefully soon we'll have the farms fully restocked, and once we get the down to hatch achievement, we can go ahead and get rid of these guys as well. So it looks like for right now we're gonna need 18 hatches, which is a little bit more. So what we'll do is we'll leave this bottom farm after we get done with the down to hatch achievement. We'll just leave ourselves 2 hatches in there just to kind of keep up with the barbecue. That should be enough. Maybe we'll do like 3 or 4 just to be on the safe side. We'll see how it goes. So we'll do that after we get our down the hatch achievement, which we're working on. We're at about 3 tons currently. The only achievement that's really holding us back now is the super sustainable achievement. However, I think that this will start going a little bit quicker once we get our spawn up and running. However, I'm not in a big hurry to do that. We could do that and kind of accelerate things. I guess we could, but I'm really water conservative. I don't want to just start going crazy with our water. However, we are up in here into the cold biome, and we have discovered our polluted water geyser, and we also have our saltwater geyser over here. So we're going to work on capturing those as well in the near future, and we can go ahead and get our materials study terminal working now that we can put down farm tiles. So we'll go ahead and plant this mealwood to help buffer our food supply while we transition to the evolution chamber taking over our hatch ranching and thereby fully automating the process. I also kind of expanded this top right a little bit. What I'm doing here is I'm going to put an atmosuit dock up here, and this will be one of the main exits from the main colony. We're gonna have a couple exits. We'll do one here at the top right, and we might do one here down at the bottom as well, somewhere, maybe the bottom right. We'll see. I'd like to do it at the bottom left, but we do have this dirty brick down here that we're building. And yes, it's gonna be a dirty brick because I want to put the coal generators and stuff like that down here once we get done with our super sustainable achievement. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I really enjoyed doing this method. It really did give me some ideas for the future. I think the next time I do an achievement run, or at the very least, I may see how quickly I can do the carnivore achievement. I'm definitely going to use this method of stressing out a binge eating dupe because I think it's just fantastic. It was pretty interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But luckily Devin survived, and he is the champion of our colony, so yay Devin. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Later.